Hey, what's up? It's Wick for Xiaomify, and today we're looking at yet another adaptation of the Mi 9, the all-new Xiaomi Mi 9T. Is it really the flagship killer that Xiaomi claims it to be? Let's find out. Let's go. In the box, we kinda know what to expect from Xiaomi by now. First, you'll find another box with some instructions and warranty stuff, a SIM card tool, and a hard shell case. Yes, a nice looking hard case, and that's pretty sweet. Below that you'll find the Mi 9T, which has a pretty cool looking holographic back, and below that you'll find a 18 watts fast charger and USB-C cable. And like a lot of you might know, it's actually the same phone as the Redmi K20, which is not globally released, but it's just called the Mi 9T in other markets. The Mi 9T has some really cool things going for it. It's got a 6.4-inch full-screen AMOLED display with no notch, as it's got the front-facing camera as a pop-up camera. It also comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack for all you headphone jack lovers, and it's got a 4000 mAh battery, so it's got some pretty cool specs. It's got an improved in-screen fingerprint scanner on the front of the phone, and it supports 18 watts quick charge. Inside you'll find a Snapdragon 730 with either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM and 64 up to 256 gigs of storage. It's got a dual SIM card tray and high-res audio with an improved speaker. On the back you'll find a 3-camera setup with a 48 megapixel main camera, a 8 megapixel telephoto lens giving you 2x optical zoom, and a 13 megapixel super wide angle lens that's almost 125 degrees wide. The front-facing selfie camera actually shoots 20 megapixels, and it's got this pretty cool looking LED light when it pops up. It looks pretty cool. So at first glance this phone looks like it has some pretty decent specs, so let's look at how the camera is on this phone. I could take a selfie like this, but as I do with a lot of my phone reviews, I invited Susanna, as she's a much better model than I am, and I had her take some selfies with the front-facing camera, and these come out looking really rather good with that 20 megapixel sensor, and they really look rather sharp. I've also taken some photos of her using the regular camera lens, and they look really good, and taking a photo at 48 megapixels is really nice as well. The portrait lens photo came out looking really nice, even though it's only using a 30 megapixel sensor. And here you can see if I do a little bit of retouching on Adobe Lightroom on the phone, I get some really good looking results. I went out and took some more photos to try this camera out, and all of these photos look really good. Pretty much like I am expecting from Xiaomi at this point, as all of their phones really have some good cameras actually. The ultra-wide angle lens is really wide, being almost 125 degrees, and that shoots on a 8 megapixel sensor, which might be a bit less detailed, but the photos do look cool being this wide, just in case you need it. And in these comparison shots you can really see the difference between the three lenses when we switch from the telephoto lens, the regular lens, and the ultra-wide angle lens. Some pictures come out a little bit more noisy than I had on the Mi 9, but it's definitely not the worst pictures ever. I've gotten quite a few really good shots with it yesterday. I've also taken some night pictures, and you can see I've got some pretty decent results, although the pictures come out a little bit more noisy, a little bit more grainy than the pictures I've taken with the Mi 9. So let's have a look at some video. And the video stabilizing I noticed was actually really good again. It's better than I had on the Mi 9 SE, although the video is not as good as I would have on the Mi 9, it comes out looking pretty good. So next, how does it sound? Well, let's have a listen. I must say that the Mi 9T, it's a bit louder, but I did find the Mi 9 to sound a bit better. So how is it in use? Well, in use the Mi 9T is really like we're used to seeing as well. MIUI 10 is fast and responsive, and it's got all the things we come to expect from Xiaomi's operating system. It's got this split screen option to use 2 apps at the same time. We can choose to hide or show the bottom navigation bar throughout the whole operating system, and it's got a very good control center on the top. You can select which widgets you want to show. and it's also got the face unlocking features, but just like on the Mi Mix 3, it is a bit slower as the camera has to come out for this. So it takes about a second for the camera to pop up before it will scan your face. So it's a bit less convenient if you're very keen on using this face unlocking. So what's the compromise here? As it obviously is a bit lower in its specs than the flagship Mi 9, it's also quite a bit cheaper and has definitely led to a few compromises. The Mi 9T does not have Qi wireless charging. It has a slower processor with the Snapdragon 730, although for normal usage this one is still capable enough. It's got a screen made of Gorilla Glass 5 instead of GG6 on the flagship Mi 9, and the wide angle and the telephoto lens both have a bit lower megapixel count. It supports quick charge up to 18 watts as compared to 27 watts quick charge found on the Mi 9, and those are really the main compromises. In return, you'll also get some improvements. The full screen display, because of that pop-up camera, is surely one that many of you will love to see. The much bigger 4000 mAh battery is a very welcome improvement, and the improved fingerprint scanner is supposed to be better, although in some cases I personally feel like the Mi 9 actually is a bit faster.
Nah, the other one's faster for sure.
The improved speaker is really a nice touch though. The pop-up camera might be a concern as it seems a little bit more fragile, but just like other manufacturers have done, this does move in from the moment it detects a drop or a quick tilt. It's not that fast to pull back in, but it should be fast enough to not have the whole camera out when it drops on the floor. So what do I think of the Mi 9T? Well, overall, I think the Mi 9T is a very cool budget adaptation of the Mi 9. It's got some very good things going for it. It's great to have a notchless screen, and that screen is very nice. The pop-up camera is a little bit debatable, but it does look very cool when it pops out, and it is a good compromise for not having a notch. The increased battery size is definitely very welcome, and the lack of Qi wireless charging is a little bit disappointing, but not the worst. Also, a little bit disappointing is that it doesn't have 27 watts quick charge, but you know, the 18 watts quick charge is not all that bad either, as it does charge quite fast. The improved fingerprint scanner should be a bit faster, but I didn't really notice it, so not sure here. The camera is very good. It's not as good as the results I got with the flagship Mi 9, but it does get very close, and for the price, it's surely good enough. So overall, I am very impressed with what is yet another more budget-friendly adaptation of the Mi 9. In Europe, the Mi 9T will go for a starting price of around 350 euros for the entry-level 6GB RAM and 64GB storage model, so it's about 100 euros cheaper than the entry-level Mi 9 and almost the same price as the entry-level Mi 9 SE, but the pricing will be slightly different per country. So I must admit that the mind-blowing rate at which Xiaomi is releasing phones can be a bit overwhelming and confusing, but hey, at least you've got something to choose between. So that's about it for the Mi 9T. So what do you think? Is this really the flagship killer? And are you interested in getting one? Or are you looking at something different? Let me know in the comment section down here what you think. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave a little thumbs up below the video as well. And if you're not subscribed yet, know that you probably should, as I'm doing a lot more videos about products from the Xiaomi ecosystem, like the Mi 9 and the Mi 9 SE, which you can find right here on the Xiaomify channel. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see y'all soon. Peace!